Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a long day for all of us, so I'll just summarize in trying to be short and sweet, but transparent, and without wanting to sound too controversial. Since this morning, we've had a lot of the renowned speakers who've given us all the words of wisdom, in particular Martin Stofford, who I've always admired for the last 40 years, who gives us the advice, and sometimes ship owners listen to what he has to say and do the opposite. George Pateras and George Michalis here, who always has a colorful way of actually expressing himself and being always with the power of persuasion, which he always had. I just want to mention two key points, which I find has been highlighted during the course of the day, at least with my interpretation. Earlier on, we heard about the perception of artificial intelligence, and perhaps because I'm perhaps more romantic and emotional and passionate about my work, I think that one should always refer to the emotional intelligence which keeps us alive and surviving in this business. The second aspect is because I saw a confrontation early on about whether the mechanisms or automation and machinery is going to take over or substitute the human being. Needless to say, I fundamentally disagree with that. The big issue, what we've got to refer to, is the two S's. We're not talking about substituting the human being. We're referring to supplementing. And that sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, is an issue which sometimes people get confused with. Another aspect which you talk about the environment, sulfur caps, CO2 emissions. What about referring to the fact that hardly we ever hear in shipping conferences with disastrous aspects regarding livestock? Ladies and gentlemen, you all enjoy your steak. Are you aware of the fact that the livestock industry is responsible for in excess of 32.6 billion tons of CO2 per year? So basically, on that particular point, ladies and gentlemen, with your fillet steaks, you are basically cooking this planet. We've heard a lot about aspects about the sulfur cap and the way to handle it, where a lot of people go into the element of using scrubbers. I gave a presentation about a couple of years ago in Copenhagen. Almost got lynched because I came up and gave a presentation and put a PowerPoint on the wall, and I said, this is the Bloody Mary. A Bloody Mary's got two main ingredients, vodka and tomato juice. And the next slide was a picture of a scrubber. And I think the scrubber has got two main ingredients, ignorance and hypocrisy. Because, ladies and gentlemen, even though we have seen that scrubbers do make financial sense, it is basically a financial exercise and it can have nothing to do with the idea of actually protecting our environment, for the simple reason it doesn't take a rocket scientist to realize that you're not going to be protecting the environment when you take sulfur out of the air and throw it into the sea. But nevertheless, for those in the shipping industry who have chosen scrubbers, provided they work and they can overcome all the technical difficulties in running them, which is a bit of a nightmare, by the way, they've done a good deal, because basically what used to be a payback in about 4 or 5 years, now you can do it in 4 or 5 months because of the differential between the fuel, about $300 a ton. I won't keep you anymore. I just want to end off by again referring to my romanticism, and I'm going to quote a poet by the name of Christianopoulos Dinos. Dinos Christianopoulos is a well-known poet, and he's also part of the Parea to Titani. As you probably know, my wife is the granddaughter of Titani, so also maybe part of the reason why I'm here is because my romanticism, my passion for life and music, and that's why I would also quote him, because I think it's very relevant to all the people who are involved with the sea. And he mentioned the following. Η θάλασσα είναι σαν τον έρωτα. Χίλιοι την χαίρονται και ένας την πληρώνει. The sea is like a love affair. 1,000 people enjoy the love affair, and one of us pays for it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for having me, thanks for listening to me, and thank you for the organizer for having a thing. Thank you.